Welcome to the Saturday, October 29th, 2016 edition of the High School Football Roundup Podcast. I'm Walter Johnson, and in this edition of the 15-Minute Drill Podcast, I'm going to talk about some region championship clinchings for Friday, October 28th, and then some games on Thursday, October 27th. Just the night before, so not much time to waste, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and obviously start with a showdown in Moultrie, Georgia, and the Colquitt County Packers played host to the Lowndes Vikings in a battle for the GHSA Region 178 title, and Lowndes have won 8 straight games since losing their opener to Valdosta. More on the Cats momentarily in this podcast. While Colquitt had won 6 in a row after an 0-4 start. And Lowndes jumped out to an early 7-0 lead, only to see Colquitt explode to take a 35-14 lead at the half. And then Vikings rallied to tie the score at 35-all, but missed a critical extra point. And then Ty Leggett's 55-yard touchdown run with about 5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, 5 minutes and change to play in the fourth quarter, gave Colquitt County the eventual 42-35 win. And Colquitt County finishes the regular season at 6-4 overall. More importantly, they win the GHSA Region 178 title, the first ever region title. And for that league, the new classification, Packers finished region play at 3-0. Both Colquitt and Lowndes will have next week off, and Colquitt will be the number 1 seed, and Lowndes the number 2 seed. And meanwhile, the Tiffin County Blue Devils will travel down to Kingsland, Georgia to take on Camden County in a winner-take-all battle for the number 3 spot, automatic playoff berth out of Region 17A. And the Valdosta Wildcats clinched their 36th region title, is at 42nd. Who's really counting? With Valdosta winning so many region crowns over the years, including 24 state titles, the last coming in 1998. Anyways, Valdosta held on to defeat Coffee 15-10, and Valdosta jumped out to a 12-0 lead at the half, and then they had 15-3, and then Coffee made it interesting in the final seconds in that final quarter, but Valdosta held on to win 15-10, a 5-point victory for the Wildcats, and Valdosta clinches the GHSA Region 16A title with the victory. And every other team in 16A has 2 losses in region play, and Northside of Warner Robins fell to Houston County in a game that Houston County had to win to stay in playoff contention. Final score, Northside of Warner Robins made that Houston County 45 and Northside of Warner Robins 35. And Northside finishes the regular season at 2-2 in the region, 8-2 overall with a loss. And Houston County snapped the 2-game losing streak with a victory, going to 1-2 in the region and 7-2 overall. And Houston moves into a three-way tie with Coffee, also 1-2 in the region, 5-4 overall. And Lee County, whose Trojans from Leesburg had the week off, also sit at 1-2 in the region and 6-2 overall with 1 game to play. And keep in mind, their game against Hardaway of Columbus was canceled due to Hurricane Hermine over the Labor Day weekend in early September. And let's see, moving on to GHSA Region 15A, and already tight region race already got tighter, and Thomas County Central entered the week in first place at 2-1 in the region, 6-3 overall, and Bainbridge also improved to 2-1 in the region, 3-5 overall, after traveling to Hamilton, Georgia, just north of Columbus, and pitching a 13-0 shutout over Harris County 13-0, Bainbridge shuts out Harris County. And while 13 points proved to be enough for Bainbridge to win a most critical region contest, it wasn't enough for the veterans Warhawks out of Kathleen, Georgia, which is in Houston County. And Warner Robins rallied late to stun veterans 18-13 on Thursday night. So your GHSA Region 1 5A standings look this way. Thomas County Central and Bainbridge are tied for first place at 2-1 in the region, although with their 17-6 win over the Bearcats, the Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets hold the tiebreaker over Bainbridge at this point. And Warner Robins, and also right in the thick of things at 2-1 in the region, and Veterans finishes region play at 2-2, 5-5 overall, and Warner Robins is 2-1, and say about 3-6 overall. One game to play, and Warner Robins will travel to Bainbridge next week, and Thomas County Central will face Harris County next week as well, and Veterans is in a wait-and-see position heading into next week to see if whether or not they'll make the playoffs. In Region 1 4A, Thursday night, America's Sumter fell at Carver Columbus, and Carver Columbus picks up a 27-3 win, and that leads us to Friday's action. And the Cairo Syrup Makers clinched the GHSA Region 1 4A title in their second year under head coach Steve Dvorsny with a U. And Cairo crushed Columbus High, the Columbus High Blue Devils, the same team that knocked off the Westover Patriots in Hummel Stadium in Albany just 2 weeks ago. And but for tonight, and it was really no contest down in Cairo as the Syrup Makers rolled to a 42-6 win. And up in Columbus, Georgia, and the north side of Columbus, Patriots all but eliminated the Westover Patriots from Albany from playoff contention as Westover fell in a 12-7 heartbreaker up in Columbus. And Westover drops to 2-4 in GHSA Region 1 4A, 4-5 overall, with just one game left to play. And the Crisp County moving on to GHSA Region 1 AAA. And yet another Thursday night contest at Hummel Stadium. It was the Crisp County Cougars and remaining undefeated with a 42-6 rout of the Darty Trojans. In the final 42-6, the final score. And with the win, Crisp County not only remains undefeated at 9-0 overall, but more importantly, they remain undefeated in GHSA Region 1 AAA with one game left to play. And Friday night at Hummel Stadium in Albany, and the Worth County Rams were taken to the limit by the Monroe Tornadoes of Albany, and it was tied several times at 21 all and 28 all. Actually, it was a couple of times 21 apiece and 28 apiece, and Worth County scored what proved to be the winning touchdown late to make it a 35-28 score, and Monroe scored a touchdown late to pull the win one, and the Tornadoes decided to go for two, but they missed the 2-point conversion, and the Rams escaped with a 35-34 win. And Worth County also remains undefeated in GHSA Region 1 AAA, like Crisp County, and the Rams from Sylvester are now 3-0 in Region 1 AAA action, and sets up a winner-take-all showdown in Sylvester at Milt Miller Field next week. The Crisp County Cougars at 9-0 against the 6-3 Rams. Crisp County at Worth County next week. And as for the Tornadoes, they fall to 0-3 in region play, 2-5 overall. And the Tornadoes have lost 4 straight games, and they've been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. Even if they were to defeat the Cook next week at the Cook, and the Cook Hornets out of Adel, Georgia, had last week off. And Doherty finishes the regular season at 1-3 in region play, 2-7 overall. And it appears that Doherty will likely be the only team from the Doherty County school system here in Albany to advance to the GHSA playoffs out of Class AAA, and likely will be the likely number 4 seed. So the Crystal County Worth County winner of the Crystal County Worth County game next week will be the number 1 seed, and the loser will be the number 2 seed. And so Cook will be the number 3 seed by virtue of their win over Doherty, and Doherty will get the number 4 seed over Monroe by virtue of their 21-14 win over Monroe back on Saturday, October the 8th. And moving on to more action in GHSA Region 1AA, the Berrien Rebels kept Albany High winless with a 21-12 win down in Nashville, Georgia, and Berrien improves to 3-2 in Region 1AA play, 4-4 overall. Albany High is still winless at 0-5 in Region, 0-9 overall. Only one game left to play for Albany High, and that will be on Saturday, November 5th, against another winless team in Early County. And speaking of the Bobcats from Blakely, Georgia, they fell at home to the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes. Final score, Fitzgerald 40, Early County 6. And the Purple Hurricanes improved to 4-0 in Region, 9-0 overall. And one regular season game left, and that will be against the Thomasville Bulldogs in Thomasville. And the Thomasville Bulldogs handed the Brooks County Trojans their second straight loss, and the Bulldogs rolled to a 32-13 win over the Trojans from Quitman, Georgia, located right in between Valdosta, Thomasville, and Moultrie. And Thomasville just 5-3 overall, 2 games above 500 overall, but undefeated in GHSA Region 1AA play at 4-0, just like Fitzgerald. Another winner-take-all game for the Region 1AA title next week, and another winner-take-all game next week in GHSA Region 1 A. Will pit the Mitchell County Eagles against the Pelham Hornets, and the Eagles from Camilla blew away Baconton Charter, snuffed out the Blazers 42-0, the final score. While down in Donaldsonville, Georgia, Donaldsonville with just 1 D at the beginning, no D in the middle. Pelham escaped with a 28-21 victory over Seminole County. So both teams are 7-1 in Region 1 A and 8-1 overall. So it'll be Mitchell County and Pelham for all the marbles in GHSA Region 1 A. And also in Dawson, the Terrell County Green Waves kept themselves in the playoff hunt with a 34-12 win over Baconton, over Calhoun County. And that win makes Terrell County 5-3 in the region, 6-3 overall, and with 1 game left to play. And finally, we get to the GISA state playoffs, and the Deerfield Windsor Knights go on the road up into Martinez, Georgia, in Columbia County, it's just west of Augusta, and Deerfield Windsor pulls off the upset over Augusta Prep in the opening round of the GISA Class AAA State Playoffs. Final score 32-0 in favor of the Deerfield Windsor Knights. And the Knights snap a 2-game losing streak and will be on the road against Frederica in Brunswick, Georgia. And on that note, and that's going to end this episode of the 15-Minute Drill Podcast for Saturday, October 29th, 2016. I'm your host, Walter Johnson. And remember, you can follow on Twitter at SWJ Network, and also listen live on Twitter at SWJ Network. and also on the YouTube channel. Have a good weekend. Good night and